Good evening. I appreciate you allowing me to come and talk about HomeIntel. I'm James Tuleya, the Community Programs Director for Home Energy Analytics. I spent about 8 years at PG&E doing energy efficiency programs, mostly residential energy efficiency, from the Home Upgrade, Energy Upgrade California program, as well as our plug load programs. So I got some familiarity with PG&E as well as residential energy efficiency. Before that, I was in solar, and before that in high tech. So I've been around Silicon Valley for a little while. So tonight I wanted to talk about the HomeIntel program. It's a residential energy efficiency and energy management energy savings program. One way to look at it is to help people find the hidden energy hogs in their home that's causing a lot of waste and money that they don't need to be paying. So I'll get into these details. So overall, some key messages, and I'll cover more details about this throughout the rest of the slides, but HomeIntel is a new type of energy efficiency program, and I'll call that EE in future slides. It addresses all home energy use. It's not just one thing, it's not only some things, it deals with all gas and electric use in a home, assuming you have gas and electric, as much as they do have. It's a free program for residents. It's paid for or funded through the public purpose program funds that PG&E collects on everybody's bill, administered through PG&E and overseen by the California Public Utilities Commission. Another way it's a new kind of program, and in regulatory terms it's called a pay-for-performance program, that essentially what it means is that we, Home Energy Analytics, are running the program for PG&E. We only get paid if we perform, and in this case, help people save energy. Saving energy also helps people save money, so that's also a good thing. Also, HomeIntel helps to show, help people understand where their home energy dollars are going. And that's a key thing, is it's energy efficiency and energy use is complex. Most people are surprised at some things they learn. And there's usually one hog or another or multiple ones using up energy in their home that they didn't realize, and it's a nice aha moment. Another key message here is that a lot of energy use is actually due to plug loads, all those things that have plugs, that things are plugged in throughout the home. And I'll get into more details about that. And because of that, there's actually a lot of cheap and easy steps that can be taken to address that energy waste that comes with plug loads. They can be implemented in mere minutes and results seen very quickly in a matter of days. Another key thing about HomeIntel is we're not trying to change people's overall lifestyle. We're informing them and helping them understand what's happening in their home, and they can make decisions about what makes sense for them and what doesn't, and their lifestyle doesn't have to change, and they can even save a lot of energy without changing their lifestyle. So a little bit of background. Home Energy Analytics, they began a decade ago, 10 years ago, in Los Altos. Steve Schmidt, an engineer, was wondering why his bill was so high, and he had his then teenage daughter go around the house, in every room in the house, and found 93 different things plugged in. And so he set about trying to figure out, well, how does he figure this out for other people? And because he's a software engineer, and that's how he approached it. So he ended up getting some funding from local community, as well as federal dollars for the American Reinvestment or Recovery and Reinvestment Act, and then started doing some local programs, one city or town at a time, based on his new software, now called Smart Audit. They've done some work in researching these plug loads and electric idle loads and confirmed that they're a big problem, working with Stanford and the National Resources Defense Council. And recently, within the last year, the CPUC rules changed based on some laws at our state level, trying to drive more energy efficiency and reducing greenhouse gases, and as well as trying to use the smart meters that everybody has, or most everybody has, and helping people manage their energy use better. And so as a result of that, PG&E and Edison, Southern California, Edison down in Southern California now are have a contract with Home Energy Analytics to run this program in their territories. We're also expecting to work with Southern California Gas shortly. Right now, we're trying to get the word out in Brisbane, working with your city sustainability staff to help people here understand what the program is. It's free and available, and it can help save energy, greenhouse gases, and money. The three main areas or categories of energy use in a home. It's the home and all the home systems. That's what most people think about when they think about how do you save energy. But there's also all your stuff. Those 93 things that Steve Schmidt's teenage daughter found in his home. And as well as people's behavior, the residents of the home and what they do. So on the home side, that's usually what past energy efficiency programs and efforts and what most people think about when they think of energy efficiency. It's what you're going to do about insulation and air sealing and HVAC efficiency and large appliances. A lot of lighting efforts, getting away from incandescent bulbs, so that that has been a big part of past programs as well. And as I said, large appliances, things that typically would be done with a rebate program, but you can't get a lot of the details, all those little plug load things with a rebate program. Is too costly to administer. Can't have a 50-cent rebate and all the administration that comes with that. But plug loads are the big problem these days. In fact, it's now in the average home, plug load equipment is, things plugged in is more than 59% of the overall energy use. If you look at this chart, the water heating space heating and air conditioning are less than 10%. So plug loads is a big challenge, and it has to be done a different way. So what does HomeIntel do? How does it help? HomeIntel consists of a couple of different main components. The Smart Audit Energy Analysis. It's a software tool that analyzes the energy in the home, and energy coaching. The software looks at all gas and electric using real data from both the gas and electric meters in the home. So it's based on the home and the family's real energy use, all different energy use, gas and electric in the home. It analyzes that, helps figure out what's happening in the home, that I'll get to later, and prioritizes a set of specific recommendations. And because we're tied to PG&E data and bills, we actually can assign dollar amounts that are specific to those recommendations for that specific home and family. It makes it very powerful for people to understand what they can do. On an ongoing basis, this isn't just a one-time replacement of one appliance. It's an ongoing process that this data is updated and the analysis is updated every night, so that there's an online dashboard that's part of the program that people can use as part of the free service, and it updates regularly, and they can look at that anytime they might want to ongoing manage and their energy and what they're doing about any energy waste. The energy coaching, there's a lot of coaching built in the online system, as well as in regular email updates that the system sends out. Also with the PG&E, the new PG&E funded program, we're able to provide personal energy coaching. So I'm also one of the energy coaches in addition to working with communities. So I'll work one-on-one with clients. Email, phone, in person. If someone doesn't want anybody coming to their house, there's so much we can do, not even having to come to the house. In fact, all the local programs, one town and city by city, that was done before the PG&E contract, there wasn't the personal energy coaching. It was all done remotely. So that can be done if nobody wants anybody coming into their house. We can tell a lot from all the data in the smart meter that's collected. So overall, the process for saving involves us helping the residents understand their energy use, helping them investigate the areas of waste, in a prioritized fashion, and then what they can do about it. The analysis breaks down the energy use into 5 main categories. It's actually 5 for electricity and 3 for natural gas. So it's really 8 categories. So it's disaggregating the energy use, to use the term of art. It doesn't disaggregate to the device level, because inevitably any kind of tool that tries to do that ends up being wrong about many things. That's a very hard thing to do. At HomeIntel, the smart audit software disaggregates to this category level, which turns out to be sufficient for those who live in the home, who know what devices and things they have, with a little bit of guidance on what these categories could include, like what you see here on the slide. And as needed, an energy coach to help talk through it. We can be accurate and practical and useful, and not turn people off because we're wrong, because we're not wrong at these levels of disaggregation at the category level. So there's these 5 different categories: always on, or in the electricity side, it's often called idle load. It's energy used continuously even when you're away or asleep. Heating, winter heating is to keep you warm, summer cooling to keep you cool. Variable is things that are energy used throughout the day. It's not predictable, or maybe somewhat predictable, but it's not as regular as the last category, which is recurring. Things on timers like pool pumps or outdoor lights that you have on a timer. So those things, they show up in that category if they are happening at within the same hour every day for the past 30 days. So it has to be very regular timers or very regular behavior. Some people have very regular behavior, but it's mostly timers. So you see the different devices that could be in these categories. So we break down or show lots of charts and graphs to help people understand their energy profile based on the breaking down of their energy use into these categories. You see on the right the annual bill. This is all based on the last 12 months of use. It shows how much they spent in the last 12 months, how much they were charged on their bill total, and what percentage of the total bill it is, and then broken down and shown as in a pie chart. On the left side, you'll see over the 12 months, month by month, how much of each is used, and it gives you a flavor of how much of these different energy categories are occurring in each month. And the idea of the overall program is to try to reduce all those things, make that those dollars go down, and those smaller wedges. So there is no typical home. Every family, every home is unique. These are a couple of examples of homes. The Eichler on the bottom, typically heating and cooling problems. Large windows that don't hold the heat very well. And you see almost half of their energy use is going to winter heating. It's still a significant amount of always on, or sometimes called base energy use. The green color there is over a third of their annual bill. So that in that home on the bottom, they would want to focus on their HVAC, the home systems and insulation itself, look at that, explore that area, as well as this always-on category in green as a secondary effort. And that's going to deal with most of their energy use. On the top, the focus really is on plug loads and other things that are always on. It's almost 2/3 of their entire bill is things that are on even when they're on vacation. And there's the nice thing about, it's sort of sad and nice. Sad in that we find large always-on use in almost every home, even the most environmentally friendly people, including me. But there's useful, easy, and simple things to do about a lot of that. It's just understanding it. And the HomeIntel Smart Audit Tool helps people understand it and then what to do about it. The dashboard I mentioned before, it's an online dashboard, secure, you use passwords to get in. And every year, Home Energy Analytics has to pass a security review from PG&E to have access to all the data. But if you look at this dashboard, and the picture of the family isn't on the dashboard, it's just those are the happy users of the dashboard. So what people see on their dashboard is there are the energy profile as it currently stands, and that will change every month at the time when they get their bill. We'll update the data, and that chart changes, and the pie chart changes on how much of each energy use they're using. Trends are shown at the top. In this case, it shows the electric idle load, and they've been successful at reducing their electric idle load in the last month by over a third. So they're doing really well in using the tool. Each of those areas on the right can be, you can dive into them. The users can dive into that and look at any of the energy categories, and whether it's electricity or gas, or look at it in total. So those are all interactive to see charts just if you want to drill down into any type of energy use. You click into that area, and there's more than most people even dig into. On the left, looking down at where it says next topic, that's the educational piece, and it walks people through what does it mean, these different energy use categories. And it's actually the first thing that we guide people to after they sign up, walk them through the overview of the overall system, the different energy use categories, and they drill in deep on the top priority energy waste category. But this is still there on the dashboard because we only get them to drill down into the first one so they can focus on where the biggest opportunities are for savings, and then the residents can go back in to the next topic and look and drill down on the second most important energy opportunity for savings. Another key area here is recommendations. So this is a prioritized list, prioritized based on dollar savings estimated based on their own bill and their own usage. So if they click into the View All section, it just shows the top 3 here, but it will list all the recommendations, all the specific recommendations that the HomeIntel Smart Audit tool provides for them based on their analysis. And the more energy use topics that I talked about before, if they drill down into each energy use topic, the more in quantity of specific recommendations they'll get. So we want them to start with the specific best recommendations on the highest area of energy waste, and then when they go back into the next topic and drill down on another category, they'll get some more specific recommendations with dollar amounts. And those are all found in that recommendation section, starting at the top with the highest opportunity for savings in dollars and going down. And then they can use that as an interactive way of tracking what they've done or what they plan to do. So they can check in there and say, maybe they don't want to do that. It's, that would require them to change their lifestyle too much. So they can skip one and they just say, I'm not going to do that. They may come back to it later. But it's a way of tracking what they're going to do, what they need to do, and how much they can save, and what they've done or what they decided they're not going to do. That's all in the recommendations area. The leaks is another way to say energy waste. The leaks is groupings of those recommendations based on the different categories. So it's just another way of looking at the recommendations in categories based on what they're trying to address in terms of energy waste category. And then lastly, well, second to last, there are various reports they can look at that give them even more information as sort of standard reports about their profile, their heating and cooling efficiency, looking at hourly charts of their energy use, the variable energy use by hour, the recurring energy use by hour, which are very useful to helping people sleuth out or find where those energy hogs are. Looking at the data by hour in charts and graphs are very helpful in that. And for the energy coach as well that are working with them, is that I can spot a pool pump just by glancing at an hourly recurring energy chart, and I can tell whether their pool pump is running too long, and or whether it is inefficient by how many watts it's using. So if someone's got a pool, we can help them save a lot of money in most cases, because either they're running their pump too long, or they've got one or both of the pumps that they have are inefficient, and usually a new efficient pool pump can pay itself off within a couple of years, for example. So those hourly charts are very useful. The last thing is messages. So the system automatically sends emails, monthly reports and updates on how people are doing. It's that bottom section. So they don't have to go back into their inbox to find the messages that were sent by the system. They can just look on their dashboard and pull up all the messages that we've ever sent them from the system. So I mentioned a lot of what can be done are simple, low or no cost items, usually associated with that always on category. For idle load, electric load, installing smart strips and timers can go a long way. Smart strips are useful in TV entertainment areas or in home office situations. And roughly half of the vampire load or phantom load, the always on load from those devices can be cut. It can be cut in half using smart strips. Smart strips just are smarter power strips that some things are plugged in to outlets on that strip that are turned all the way off unless the computer or the TV is on. They can sense whether the TV or computer is turned on. More power goes through that master outlet, and then it turns on those otherwise off controlled outlets. So things like printers, speakers, headphones, those things that are only on when you're using your computer. Things like VCRs or DVD players that you only use when you actually have your TV on, they can be off otherwise, not wasting energy. Something like a DVR, a recording device, you want in a separate always-on plug on that smart strip, so you can record whatever show it is that comes on, some movie in the middle of the night you wanted to see, so it doesn't turn that off. So smart strips are really powerful in those environments for saving energy from these vampire, otherwise known as phantom loads. Also, timers are friends of energy savers. Lots of different types of timers. One key area for timers, well, as I mentioned before, the pool pumps and other pumps, well pumps, outdoor lights, some people leave them on way too long. Another area, for example, are hot water recirculation pumps for having water come on right away after you turn on your tap. Those things do save water, but what people don't realize is they're wasting a lot of energy unless you have them on a timer. Because what it does is takes water out of hot water out of your insulated hot water tank and runs it through usually uninsulated pipes throughout your house 24 hours a day. So if you put those on timers, just for the periods of time that you want to run, you want that instant hot water, that's going to save a lot of energy. In this case, it's gas. It's fossil fuel gas energy, and that typically saves $700 to $900 a month. I'm sorry, not a month, a year. Sorry, a year. But hundreds of dollars a year just for one device putting on a timer. So we can spot those easily because it shows up as always on gas use. So the smart tool, that based on a resident's own data, finds these things. It's one of those classic energy hogs that people don't realize is happening. They thought they were saving water, and they were, but they're wasting a lot of fossil fuel gas energy and money. So they can do both. They can save both by just putting it on a timer. The energy coaches, we provide proactive support for those with the greatest need, higher energy use, people that have a hard time figuring out how to use it. I've even gone in and helped people sign up in the first place if they're not very computer savvy. So the energy coaches can provide a lot of flexibility to help residents. In past programs that Home Energy Analytics ran in one town after another, about 6,000 clients from the past that they've gained experience with, they saved on average 13% of their overall energy use, which for an energy efficiency program, and knowing, I've been in that business, 13% is huge in energy efficiency, and that's for the entire home, not just one device. So just getting into the final stages here, how do you sign up and start saving? We've worked with city staff to set up a specific landing page, registration page that's on the next slide, at the URL brisbane.hea.com. And it's a short version of the real one. The eligibility, there's only a couple of restrictions. One is someone has to have been in their home, and it works for apartments too, renters or owners, because plug loads doesn't matter if you own the house. You've got a lot of stuff, you can cut your bill even if you're renting. So it's free to all customers, renters, owners, apartments, condos, homes, of PG&E, and that includes Peninsula Clean Energy customers, because everybody's getting their power delivered by PG&E. They just have to be there 12 months so we can do that 1 year of analysis. If they haven't been in their home or apartment for 12 months, they can still sign up, and then we'll let them know when they've hit that 12-month point and start them on the analysis and the process. So that's only a temporary restriction. The other more real restriction is if they have solar electric PV panels. That's because we're looking at the consumption at the smart meter, and solar PV provides production at the meter, so the meter is a net meter of production and consumption, so our analysis can't look at that. And theoretically we could pull out the production and look at the consumption, but there's no consistency in the different the ways the solar data, production data is provided. Maybe a future day we can do that, but most people don't have solar still and can be helped by this. That said, we can still help solar customers through a related mobile application or app that's also available online called Dr. Power. And we can still analyze their always-on electric idle load, because when the sun goes down, we can look and see what's still on. And that's usually, as I said before, a very key area of energy use and energy waste. And people I know who have been using Dr. Power who have solar have been very happy with it. And it's related, the analysis is done the same way. It's just that one key energy category. In addition, for those who are thinking of going solar, the HomeIntel Energy Efficiency Program really helps to cut energy use, so you don't have to buy as many panels. Or really what should happen is that you can fill up your roof with panels, you just now have space to power your electric vehicle that you're going to buy already, or have, or maybe get that second electric vehicle, or switch to electric heat pump water heater. So you've got more room in the solar production for the things that aren't waste, that are actually productive. So this is helpful for going solar. It cuts costs and cuts waste. We also refer to other programs. We can tell if someone is a good candidate for the Energy Upgrade California Home Upgrade Program that looks at building shell and insulation and all that. A lot of people are not good candidates for that, but some are. And so we can help people realize whether or not they're a good candidate or not. Is it worth their time and energy even looking at that? And we work with BayREN to refer back and forth between programs. And as I mentioned, the Brisbane sign-up page, this is what it looks like. So that's where you land when you type in brisbane.hea.com. And the first part of the sign-up is name and email. And then that takes you to the box in the upper right, the second part of signing up via that Brisbane sign-up page for HomeIntel. Involves putting in your PG&E or PG.com credentials, username and password. We've done it that way for a couple reasons. One is it's easy and convenient. We're doing this program on behalf of PG&E. People only have to remember their one username and password to get into PG&E's site or the HomeIntel Smart Audit Tool dashboard site. So that's the way that most people sign up. But there is an alternative way if they don't want to share their PG&E.com username and password. They can go in themselves, log into PG&E.com. Down at the bottom right-hand corner of the home page is that image you see on the right, share usage data. It's called the Share My Data tool. And you click on that Share My Data, and then it takes you to another page where you select these qualified, security-reviewed, third-party contractors that you can share your data with, one of whom is Home Energy Analytics for the HomeIntel program. By the way, there's also one for home energy analytics for Dr. Power. If someone wants to sign up for that, they can share my data. And in that way, they don't have to share their PG&E.com username and password with us. They would set up a separate username and password to get into their HomeIntel dashboard. So that concludes my presentation. It's about reducing energy waste, finding those energy hogs and trying to figure out what to do about it, and ongoing energy management for someone in the home. We have folks who have been using the system for 6, 7, 8 years and have continued to save money. Thank you.